I don't think I'm gonna go see it now.
It's a TV show, so you don't go.
Oh,
We're back. No action taken. Now we have Donna from CDB talking about TGT.
yeah. I meant to do this over earlier and I hadn't gotten it over to you, and I did email it out to Betsy and to you, Trish. In 2022, they changed some of the wording in the transit guest tax laws. And so now marketplace facilitators lodging is now included. And that is on top of also hotels and other lodging that we look at. It encompasses Airbnbs, VRMOs, how do you pronounce that?
VRBO.
VRBO,
Verbo.
includes that and some of the other ones that are coming up. But it also includes individuals that have a house and they're renting out space in them. People that have apartments that are renting them out, and also then lodges and hang lodges and fishing and all those types of things that they've been kind of going under the radar for a while. So the legislature signed it into law January 7th of 2022. So right now they're still digging into it a little deeper because they have some individuals, and not only in our county, that are not paying. And then it also talks about the sales tax side of it. So we've got the transit guest tax and then the sales tax. So some of them are saying that they're selling a service, and in doing so, they don't have to turn in the transit guest tax. But according to revenue, they do. What they need to do is segment it out and put it over here in this with the paperwork they have to fill into the state. And then all the other stuff will be addressed or is addressed differently. But they definitely have to pay the transit guest tax. So I talked with them again. I've been in contact with them a lot. They've got a committee formed, and so they're diving into it a little bit deeper. Some folks are saying they have an Airbnb, but they only have one room in their house that they're renting, or they only have one house. And so there's only maybe one person, but they said that doesn't matter. Airbnbs will be paying taxes. So, and they are doing that because even though they're saying there's one person and they're renting a whole house, there could be more than one or two bedrooms. So anyway, they're trying to fine tune that a little bit because some of those individuals are saying they don't have to pay. What they did do with Airbnb, whenever somebody would book on Airbnb, they automatically have to pay the tax, sales tax and transit guest tax when they make their reservations online. So the ones that are kind of trying to sidestep it are the ones that are doing it a little smaller, or maybe don't have that Airbnb name on their properties. So they're continuing to look at that and how to get all those folks in and how many there are. And they know there's a lot that are doing it.
Mm-hmm.
But according to statute, they now have to pay. And so one of the other areas of issue and it's trouble is, let's say, for example, let's use Priceline or Expedia. And so you book your hotel, your whatever it may be, your trip on them. So what they do is they charge you a fee, and then those fees are supposed to take care of your, let's just say, hotel. Well, when a person then goes into the hotel, and if the hotel says, why did you do it that way? And they're like, well, so the hotels are saying, well, that's on you. But what they're seeing is a lot of folks that are using those services, it doesn't include taxes. If it does include the taxes, they're not being paid to the state. So that's a big thing that they're looking at right now, also trying to resolve. So those are all, I can send you guys this if you want it.
Yes.
Okay,
So who polices this?
Department of Revenue.
But, I mean, are they aware of every individual one?
No,
That's the problem.
that's the problem. So what it comes back to is individuals in the community. I mean, you don't want to turn your neighbor in or whatever, but when it becomes apparent, then revenue needs to know what's going on. One of the ways that, like, for instance, you guys or I could look at, and we could know that there's maybe a problem with A, B, and C, we can look at a document that's online that is confidential. And we can tell every single person in the county who's collecting tax, how much they collected, if they were late, all those different individual things. So then that means that if I would call revenue, I can say, I don't know details, because I don't. But if you as a commissioner or somebody, finance director or treasurer's office, whoever it may be, they can have access to the website, username, password, and then they can go in and look at that document. I've seen it before, but basically I agreed that it was confidential information. It stayed on that person's desk. This was not here. And then it just breaks it all out for you, totally and completely. So you can see basically how many facilities or homes or whatever it may be are collecting or not collecting. So if you have a good idea, like I've talked to policy and research in the past, and I said, I've got a concern, somebody call me, these are the details, I don't know anything about it. And so then policy and research, Department of Revenue starts tracking it down and making phone calls. Once somebody's pegged on it, and a lot of, I will go back and say that a lot of policy and research folks, a lot of them are still remote in Topeka. But policy and research, once they know that there could be a problem and they look into it, they will never let, like, for example, me know what's happened or what's going on. But then they will talk to that person. It starts out with a friendly phone call, and then it goes up from there. And so I don't know if you guys have heard about, there's a hotel in Topeka that they came in, started knocking on the doors at 6 o'clock in the morning and told everybody they had to get out because that hotel wasn't paying the tax. And so they shut them down. And I've experienced it in a property in another town I lived in.
Didn't the city of Topeka take that hotel over?
Well, it actually, the bank took it back because there was some other issues with electricity not being paid and some other issues. But you're talking about the one in Topeka? No, it was a different one. Yeah, that one, the one you're talking about was put up for auction and the city has taken it over. Now, this is another one that I don't know if it's sold. I don't know what happened, but I do know that it's up and running again and it's pretty busy. But we don't ever want that to happen because those poor guests getting, 6 o'clock in the morning telling you have to get out of your hotel room now because the person didn't pay their transit guest tax. But, and then are they charging the transit guest tax and not sending it in? I mean, there's just so many different layers to it that we need to be aware of, I guess, is what I'm saying. So, any questions? Okay, so I'm gonna, Betsy said I might want to talk to you guys a little bit about transit guest tax and the CBB office. Would you want me to come back at a different time? And you'd asked me to tell you what, if it does,
So we had discussed the possibilities of looking at raising transit guest tax. I know you had said that you would be interested in the CBB collecting some of that, for personnel.
Correct.
The question I had to you was, had you taken it to the board before you discussed it with commission, but also to figure out how to structure it, to explain it to the want to the commission before you bring it to us as well. So, as,
I have a meeting with the board on Wednesday.
and so,
We did talk about it a few months back. They're not in favor. I didn't talk about the CVB having a percentage. One member said that, they would be happier if that was what you guys were gonna do, if the CVB saw an increase from that also.
I mean,
So,
ultimately, it will be a commission decision.
Exactly.
You know, but we still need to give respect the guys and gals that sit on the board.
Yeah.
Want to give them a heads up and hear their feedback. You know, not everybody is against raising, nobody wants to raise taxes, whether it's personal taxes, whether it's transient guest tax, right?
right,
I think, you know, when you start talking about that, it's scary due to the fact, what people say is, well, we're in a nice zone because everybody's gonna wanna stay here because the transient guest tax is lower. Now, I argue this and I can argue till I'm blue in the face because I just literally drove 6.5 hours to Dallas, Texas, and got into my hotel room, got my key. I never asked the front desk clerk how much the transient guest tax was, or I'm not searching my hotel based on transient guest tax. And so, that's nor here or there, but I think that's always that's the old adage or the attitude that's around here.
it's around a lot of that industry, but guests they don't know. I mean, you're gonna stay where you're gonna stay, and you're gonna pay the price for where you're staying because it's convenient to what you're doing, or your family's there, whatever.
Present your why to your board, but that still needs to be presented to the commission.
I've got,
Will it be a new board?
it will be,
Yeah.
yeah. I've got a couple that I know are not gonna be there already, so. But what I did, and this has not been seen by the board, but this is I'll be talking to them about this on Wednesday. I'll give you guys copies of it now. So it's basically our strategic 3-year plan that we've put together. We've already started working a lot on year 1. So when you look at that, you'll go, you guys are already doing that. Well, we are, but, there's only so much we can also do because of the financing and the way that, and we do need an administrative assistant, but more than that, we need another professional person that can go out and make some of the contacts. And so I put together a list of some of the things. We've been working with Sports Kansas and doing a lot of the events that we've been doing, connect teams. Those are, more expensive conferences that I don't know, they're expensive. And the Sports Kansas group signed a contract with teams for 5 years. This is the last year. So after that, they have to look at the bottom line to see if we're gonna go ahead and do that again. Connect, we did that at the encouragement of the of Secretary Tolan. Lieutenant Governor requested that we go to teams. Sports ETA is in April and it's in Oregon. And then, so those, I don't know, and those are all appointment taking ones where we meet one-on-one with planners and folks that make the decisions on where events are gonna go. So then another one that we're not gonna be able to go to this year is the African American Conference, and that's also appointments. We've done it 2 years. I think it's a good conference. We're just spread too thin to look at it, but I think it's very important. I think some of the trails that are being created from civil rights and those things, we fall into that very hard, and we need to look at that. American Best Association, we did do that this year. We went last year. It's a really good conference, and appointment taking, select travel, and then for education, I would like us to be able to do the Destination International Conference. It's always in the United States, but they have classes for they call it CEO, the directors, and then they also have one for marketing and communications person. And so those are classes that are specifically for CVB personnel. And then it would also include a certified destination management program, and then exhibitor live. And we went to that one year. I went to it, and I'm working on, I passed my classes, and now I'm ready for my second group of classes. But those are some of the things that I would like to see us focus on this next year, and that's kind of been put in this plan, which I will present, but I'll go ahead and give it to you right now, and you guys can look at it. So this is a draft. So, I'll let you guys know, it's a draft. Did do spell check, but. Thank you.
I think, this is awesome, thanks, Donna.
Sure. What?
So, not but, I said, so I think moving forward, like, present all the stuff that we talked about to the board, and let's get back on the agenda for Monday and have the discussion.
We can absolutely do that. And yeah, if you have any questions, just let me know, shoot me an email, or when I come back in, I'll try to get on the agenda next Monday, Tuesday. What's the date?
It's Monday.
20th.
Ah.
Oh, okay.
You know, and the board needs to be reminded back, you know, when we set the 6%, our sales tax was higher than anybody's by far, but everybody else is catching up to us. So, you know,
Yeah.
I can see where that was probably the reason why they kept it at 6, because our sales tax was so high compared to Manhattan, and but they're right on our tails, so.
And it's becoming more and more, it's becoming tougher, because I think everybody thinks of Junction City and Geary County as a small town. It's not. We're bringing in a good amount of transit gas tax dollars, and a lot of people are coming in, and we're seeing the benefits of that, but we're getting at a point now that we're not able to keep up with the Topeka and the Manhattan and the Salina, and we're all in that same market. So even though we may be a little smaller than them, we're their competition and they're ours. And right now, they're gonna beat us. And I mean, we're doing a lot, and I hope we continue to do a lot, and we will. But, you guys know we've been on the road a lot, and it's exhausting, and it's extremely gratifying, because people are starting to know that we're here. But I agree with you, Trish. Our taxes are in line, and actually we're below a lot of them with transit gas tax. So.
Well, I look forward to seeing you Wednesday.
All right, Tuesday.
You said Wednesday just now.
Wednesday for the
For the
CBB meeting.
Oh, this Wednesday. Yes, I was thinking commissioners. I'm like, yeah, I'm so confused. Okay, I will see you Wednesday, and then I'll see the rest of you on Tuesday.
All right, thank
I'll
you.
send you an email out of time.
Okay, perfect. Thanks. If you could make it.
Hi, Frank. How are you?
Pretty good, Trish. Oh, Commissioner.
Call me Trish.
How you doing, Frank?
Well, we're ready for you.
Huh?
We're ready for you.
Oh, okay. I'm here to update you on the Silver Hair Legislature. There's not much going on in the Silver Hair Legislature. In January the 22nd, we had Older Kenson Day. And because I was on the board of the Area Agency on Aging and also the Silver Hair Legislature, I was encouraged to go to Topeka and talk to our legislature. So going over there by that morning was a challenge. And going over there was a pickup that went up the road and a 18-wheeler was going in the opposite direction. By the time oh man, it was, I went about 65 miles an hour and people were going 80 miles an hour passing me. And man, it's stupid, you know? So I got there, there's hardly anybody that went over there because of that. So I want to update you, and I try to contact Representative Underhill. He didn't show up to work, and I don't blame him either. And I also had a
You made it.
Yeah,
You made it. He could have made it.
I made it, but at 65 miles an hour. Save a lot of gas too, going that way. But anyway, I talked to Mr. Butler for lunch, and Mr. Butler had indicated to me about the bill concerning about the disabled veteran. He indicated that there's going to be an amendment to that, that will encourage county like Geary County to be compensated for the
Yes.
money that they lost. And he says that's encouraging, that
It
it
is.
might pass. So if they have an amendment to that, it has to go back to the House to be voted on. And I don't know where it is right now. I've been trying to go to my computer to see where it's going. I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, they probably haven't done it yet. I know I got an email not too long ago from Representative Proctor, and they even talked about maybe raising the level of disability, because it was anybody 30% or over it, and I think they might go 50%.
Because
It was, I suggested, this is straight from his email, that he sent us. He suggested to the Senate Tax Committee that it wishes to mitigate, the cost. They consider removing rebates for 30%, 40% disabled veterans and beginning the program at 50% or greater disability.
yeah,
There was also something I thought in there that rather than reimburse the county, they reimburse the individual.
Yeah. There
Individual-
was.
Yeah, so the individual would still pay their taxes and the state would then, reimburse the individual.
Yeah.
I'm 100% disabled because of the Agent Orange. So I'll be affected. I'll be, probably, affected by that. So anyway, the bill, one of the issues that the Silver Hair Legislature was trying to push is that we call clip tax. And that's where the Social Security, if it goes over $75,000, you have to pay tax. And we're trying to push that to $100,000. And that bill was with the other bills, including the flat tax, which the governor is going to veto. So when I was over there were some Senate representatives were trying to overcome the veto. So I hope they're successful on that. And another issue that we're trying to push is also the Medicare expansion. And one of the senators was in WIBW being interviewed concerning about that. And what he was talking about, again, how expensive it's going to be if we push that. So he's saying that it's not going to go again. But the governor is trying to push the Medicare expansion. And we got a text from people. It says, hey, we need to contact your legislature to have a hearing on this bill. And I don't know where we're at on that, because the Republicans and Democrats are starting to push that. So I'm hoping we are successful on that. So those are the two issues that we're trying to push with the Silver here legislature. So on the other ones, I don't know. I'm not up to date on the other ones, so.
Well, that's because that's not your job. You keep pushing on what you're pushing on. They're all good things.
Yep. Oh, by the way, congratulations, being the woman of the year.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Okay, you have any more questions?
No, I appreciate you updating us though. Thank you for advocating for all of Silvercare. I'm gonna be there, I'm right behind you.
Congratulations for the Chiefs. What a game, isn't it?
Yeah, right? So stressful.
Thank you very much.
All right, take care.
Okay.
You got anything else?
No?
Oh, minutes.
Boom.
Teresa, you're supposed to be keeping us in line, not the other way around.
I know, well, I didn't have to sit here. I was up too late last night.
Not me.
Oh, hush.
I was days.
Okay, the minutes.
Settle down after that.
Well, that's
Wide
it,
awake and it
'cause-
takes a while to go to.
Yeah, I was like, no. Minutes for February the 5th, Keith or Trish didn't have anything wrong with them.
Oh my gosh.
I know, I told her.
Well, it's rare that it happens with Keith.
I know, he always finds something.
Do I hear a motion to accept
So
the minutes?
Right.
All in favor?
Alright.
Opposed, same sign, motion carries.
And did we do the change order?
Yes, we did.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm,
yeah.
she said,
Well, it was before Alex got
Yeah,
here,
that's
right
fine.
before he got here.
Oh, okay, all
I
right.
didn't sign it if you want.
I already
You
put
guys
his
have
absent.
approved it.
So if we do not have anything else, we will adjourn.
All right.